We have a real treat this morning. It really is my pleasure to introduce my friend. We all know her. We know what a gem she is. She brings something special to everything she's involved in. And she has really blessed our church with the choir. And she has been a guest speaker here, I think, since before I started coming here in 2012. But she was kind of the person the minister that lived down the street. That's how people used to describe it. And then all of a sudden she started coming here. She and Gregory started coming here quite often, and now they're members. And that just thrills me, just thrills me. Reverend Kathleen always has an amazing and unusual message to share with us. Things that I know for myself, I probably wouldn't have thought to share. And so I'd like to welcome to the platform my friend, Reverend Kathleen Hellenberg.
Thank you very much, Michelle. That was wonderful. Thank you for inviting me. It's so nice to see people in person for a change. This is the first time I've been in the building since the shutdown, and it's really nice to see everyone, and it's so nice that people are able to join in if they can't be here through the computer. So I'm wearing green today because it's a healing color, and my topic today is healing journeys. Decades ago, I had a session with a psychic, and unlike most of the people I've gotten messages from, she focused almost exclusively on my father. And she told me that I knew he was going to die before I was born, and I did not want to be born. She said he was the last of my group, and I did not want to be without him. During the process of my birth, I was in the breech position, and I was forced around, and forceps were used. And that set up a condition called TMJ syndrome that set me on my healing journey. A wound must make itself known in order for a healing journey to start. That always involves pain. A wound and the pain from it can manifest on any or all levels of our being: physical, emotional, mental, energetic, or spiritual, and can affect each of those levels no matter what level the wound is in. Usually, a wound on a physical level starts to heal immediately as the wisdom of the body springs into action. But there are wounds, especially on an emotional, mental, and spiritual level, that we are taught to ignore, deny, repress, and suppress, that then get buried so deeply we lose consciousness of them, and we have to wait until a time when we are able to handle bringing it up to the surface to allow it to be healed. I recently saw a poster in an online newsletter with a picture of a person walking away, seen only from just below the knee, pants rolled up to mid-calf, with very dirty bare feet, and underneath the title Healing, and a poem of only 6 short lines. My wounds are open. My heart is broken. But the healing has begun. The future is waiting. I have picked up the pieces, and now I will be one. This picture, along with this poem, encompasses everything necessary for a healing journey. TMJ stands for temporomandibular joint, the connection between the jawbone and the skull. The syndrome is defined as a disorder of the jaw muscles and nerves caused by injury or inflammation to the TMJ. This is a vast and complicated subject. American medical professionals do not completely understand the causes of it, and some aspects of diagnosis and treatment of this condition are very controversial. There is much, much more to this condition than they are aware of, and without knowing its root cause, the way it is treated is very inadequate. The dysfunction of that joint is reflected in all the joints of the body, and it affects all the systems of the body, all of them. As I was growing up, I often had symptoms of this condition, but my mother always dismissed them. I would ask her, why does this hurt? Why does that hurt? And she would always begin her answer with the words, oh, that's nothing, and so do nothing about it. I did not have a diagnosis of it until I was in my 30s. The doctor who gave it to me specialized in treating this. He was only in the US for a visit from the UK, and as he did not have medical privileges here, he was seeing people in a friend's home. Someone I knew set up an appointment with him for me. I was told the appointment would last at least 2 hours. The entire first hour we sat and talked. The doctor asked me lots of strange and unusual questions. One that I remember because it was so impactful was, when do you feel the most comfortable in your body? I thought about it for a few minutes and said, when I first wake up, before I move. After I move, I'm uncomfortable all the rest of the day. He also asked me what I knew about my birth, and after I gave him the answer, he told me that contrary to popular belief, a baby's bones are more like cartilage. So when forceps are used, it deforms that very important joint. And so the two parts do not fit together correctly anymore. During the second hour of this visit, I was given a cranial sacral treatment. And for the first time I could remember, my body relaxed, my emotions were peaceful, my mental stress calmed down, my energy felt balanced. Not many people knew how to give these treatments, but one of the chiropractors we used to go to did. It always helped in the moment, but often when I left, I would hit my head getting into the car and all the effects of the treatment were nullified. Yeah, of course, he had other appointments, so I could just go back in and get another treatment. So after he moved away, for a long time, I went to various chiropractors and other alternative therapists to get some relief from the stress this condition kept me in. But not one of them used a dynamic system that was open-ended. I always felt like a square peg they try to fit into a round hole. Until in the spring of 2016, my husband and I went to a Mind, Body, Spirit festival sponsored by Rise. There was a young man there advertising his business called Balance Your Fitness, named Aaron Wallace. I decided to make an appointment with him because, first, he starts with a long, complicated evaluation of all the imbalances each person is dealing with. Second, he customizes his work for every individual he treats. And third, he teaches everyone treatments they can do on themselves at home. This helps to speed up improvement and keep things going in the right direction. Aaron's training is from the Czech Institute. He's a level 3 Czech practitioner, and he can use any holistic to help anyone with any kind of problem. Erin has helped me on every level of being, and no matter what I need help with in any way, Erin is ready with a therapeutic treatment. When we first started working together, because my body had been continually burying a lot of the pain in order to stay balanced, I experienced more pain than I could ever have thought possible. Like I said at the beginning, a wound must make itself known in order for a healing journey to start. I had a very, very long line of pains waiting to make themselves known. There were times it was so excruciating, I wondered whether I'd be able to continue. But then I noticed my stress levels had started to decrease, and that kept me going. While working primarily on physical pain, we did a lot of work on emotional pain. I probably shed more tears during that time than ever. I'm pretty sure for about a half a year's worth of appointments, I cried through half of each session, and then for the next year through the entire session. So, and then while working on emotional pain, we started working on mental blockages, and next at healing on an energetic level, which then led to working at a spiritual level. No matter what level we worked on, I saw improvement on all the other levels, and my stress levels continued to decrease. I'd spent decades working on healing on my own, and then decades trying to find someone whose help would make a real difference and bring about improvement. Working with Erin finally brought this about. Paul Chek, who started the Chek Institute, has said that in teaching people to be Chek practitioners, he wanted them to go beyond the intellect into authentic mastery. Healing can be very hard work. The reason I've been able to feel better is because Erin is trained and continues to expand his ability to listen to spirit all through each session and in between each type of treatment. I have never had anyone pay as close attention to me as Erin does. He asks lots of questions, really listens to the answers, gives encouragement, praise, support, lots of tissue. And like I imagine a loving father would, often shares words of wisdom that are like little gems of understanding. He knows that the most important wound anyone needs healing for is our disconnection from spirit. And he is dedicated to bringing that healing about. Jill Stark recently wrote a book called When You're Not Okay, a Toolkit for Tough Times. In the chapter on acceptance, under the heading, Don't Resist, she wrote, the more you resist those painful, icky feelings, the longer they'll hang around. Pushing away pain only entrenches suffering. Make a space for it. Recognize that it has a purpose. Anxiety is often a signal that something in our life is out of balance. Opening up to the discomfort, rather than wishing it wasn't happening, can help you see what needs to change. As the 13th century Persian poet Rumi said, the wound is where the light enters you. My wish for everyone is that when you feel ready to begin your healing journey or are at a point Where you need help to heal, you have someone who is able to help you as much as Erin helps me. I'm going to close with a blessing I found one of the times my mother-in-law was hospitalized toward the end of her life. At first, I thought it was only for caregivers and medical personnel, but then I realized that every one of us is a caregiver at some point in our lives. And if we are to effectively help others, it is imperative that we heal ourselves first. May rest find you in the peaceful moments when all is still, in the quiet times when you pause and breathe. May rest find you in the chaos of the moment, in the sorrow you seek to heal. May rest bless you and strengthen you. May it fill your spirit and give you unexpected joy. I just have to interject that the actual wording was unearned joy. And I just think that doesn't even make sense, because everyone earns joy. And we don't even have to earn it. But we sometimes don't think to expect it. May you find rest in the care of others, in the knowledge of your worth, the value of your service. May the one who gives rest bless you and hold you close, and may you, in your very being, be a place of rest for others. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.